Hello everybody, this is Captain Games and welcome back to Crossout 101. Today we're gonna go in full depth of cannons and auto cannons. We're gonna start out with the Rapier, then go to the Whirlwind, then to the Avenger, Judge, Executioner, Little Boy, Fat Man, and as well then Mammoth and Tsunami. I am gonna take the guides to show you guys what cannons I am meaning. And I'm going to start with the Rapier. The Rapier deals an average of 51 damage per shot. It has a cooldown time of 2.7 seconds. A damage impulse, so basically knockback on the enemy of 1500 points. And a recoil of 2.6 thousand. Its optimal range is 3000, and its maximum range is 300 meters, and maximum range is 800 meters, so it's a very long range. And its volley length is 14 shots. Power score 740, 4 energy points, 125 proxy points, and a rate of fire of 200. Its DPS is 60.27. And the vortex, so the whirlwind, it's translated the vortex from the Russian spreadsheet I'm using. I'm not sure if this is accurate because it would mean that the whirlwind will be less powerful per shot than the Rapier, but according to this sheet, it is 40.02 damage per shot, cooling time 3 seconds, 800 knockback, 2.6 thousand recoil. This one actually has a 2 block radius, by the way, and the Rapier is 1.5 block radius, so they're technically explosive weapons. Optimal range 300, maximum range of 800 as well. Has a shot volley of like turn of 11 shots. Power score of 1175. 5 energy points. 360 hit points. Also has a 200 rate of fire. Structure of the whirlwind is 360 and the mass is 486, which is higher than the 125 point structure and the 180 against the mass of the Rapier. And it has the bonus of the longer distance of every 100 meters, the damage increases at 45%. So that is not taken in consideration. So this DPS is without that in mind. But the normal DPS is 40.65. Only 40 damage, so 11 damage less than the Rapier. But it increases with 45% over 100 meters. Which means if you're at the bridge map, if you shoot at somebody on the other side of the bridge, you're gonna do more damage than the Rapier with this thing. But if you are on this side of the bridge, basically, shooting at very short distance targets, you'll do less damage. They both have an accuracy rating of 0.6, which is not very accurate. I'll really quickly show you guys what happens if you put a use the low accuracy of this thing. Let me quickly grab some wheels. Yes, I finally got a. Oh, I got one pair. I still have that one pair of large wheels in my inventory, but I'm not really using them. If I don't need to, I'm still using new wheels. But yeah, this thing is not very accurate at automatically firing. Because of that, auto cannons. I give you guys a tip. Tap fire. This way, it takes longer for you to overheat, and you do less damage because of course lower rate of fire, but you can do it more consistently because of the much higher accuracy. You also can aim better at single targets and shoot off the weapons of an enemy, which is where the autocannons excel at, shooting off weapons. But that said, let's continue with the cannons. Gonna start off with the Avenger. It deals 454 damage with a reload speed of 3.5 seconds. Has a knockback on the enemy of 5,000. Has a 12 round ammunition system, and has a 3x3x3 block radius damage radius. It also has a recoil of 60.5 thousand. Optimal range is 300 and the maximum range is 800 as well. It only shoots one, of course, before firing and has to reload each shot. The energy it uses is 5. Its power score is 600. Has 207 health points, 468 current of mass, and 5 energy drain. Its damage, single hit damage is around half, but if you hit a cabin, but its DPS is also pretty decent at 76.64. Next up is the Judge 76mm gun. Deals 502 damage per hit. Has 4 seconds reload time. Has 12,000 knockback on the enemy, which is quite a lot. So you can actually knock back an enemy by shooting it at him. It has 10 rounds of ammunition only, and has 19.8 thousand recoil, which is very noticeable on even on a pretty heavy rig like this. You can very much notice the knockback. That wasn't actually not scripted, guys. I just plopped them on here, and I actually expected to go like this. I didn't suspect to actually flip it entirely. But yeah, that is kind of a downside of this thing. It does have 500 meter optimal range, 800 meters maximum range. Again, one shot volley, of course, because it's a single shot weapon. It has a power score of 925. It has the energy rating of 5, 320 points of structure, and 585 kilograms of mass. Next up is the Executioner. The Executioner has 571 damage per shot, 5 second reload, 13,000 knockback on the enemy. It has a no, it does not actually explode on impact, but it has the armor piercing projectiles, of course. It only has 8 pieces of ammo, 23,100 recoil, so that's even higher than the Judge, so you do have to watch out for that. Has an optimal range of 500, maximum range of 800, power score of 1175, 5 energy points, 884 kilograms of mass, 443 points of structure. Actually, the Judge has a DPS of 74.16. It's lower than the Avenger because the reload speed and the slower reload speed actually has effect more than the increase in damage. But the increase in single hit damage is a very big bonus because you get the burst damage potential bonus. The Executioner does have a higher damage output at 114.20 DPS, but its ammo is very limited. I do suggest taking ammo packs with these weapons. The Judge and Executioner mainly. The Avenger does have, with 12 ammo shots, does have a decent amount of ammo, but especially because of the low power score it uses, stuff like that, I don't really think it's worth using ammo packs with them, because the ammo packs are going to be a very big part of the gun compared to the Judge and Executioner in terms of power score, so that's a very big downside. But that's that. Let's go on to our big friend over here, the Tsunami. The gun that I really want. It has 676 damage per shot, which can increase up to 60%, which is around 1000 to 1100 damage, which is an insane amount. It also has more ammo than the Executioner at 10 points, but it has 6 energy drain as a cost. It does have 746 points of structure and 13.5 1,350 kilograms of mass. I mean, it has a impact knockback of 15,000, which is almost as high as the recoil of an Avenger cannon. So you could compare those. It has same radius as the other guns, with explosion radius, as because it's normal high explosive shells that it's firing. It has a 65,000 recoil. This thing has a very high recoil. Very, very high recoil. But the optimum range is 500, maximum range is 800. It has 1950 power score, 746 point structure and mass. Actually, already said that. But its DPS, not considering the extra damage potential, is 96.57. So the Executioner will outdamage a Tsunami if you do not consider the extra damage potential. But a Tsunami will always have that single shot damage advantage. And of course, having the two of them, I would actually say, compared to each other, 3 Executioners will be more powerful than 2 Tsunamis, but 2 Tsunamis will be more powerful than 2 Executioners. And on top of that, you have to consider that having 2 Tsunamis means you have an extra energy pool of 3, and after the upcoming update 4, or with the Executioners it's currently 0, and after the update 1. So after the update you can equip a scope with the Executioners, but with the Tsunami you can equip a scope. And then a powerful engine which will increase the reload speed with 20%, effectively increasing the DPS by 20%, as well as adding another 1 energy part. Or simply go for 15 energy, which will in terms be a slight benefit of power score, as well as giving you advantage of either speed if you're taking a lighter cabin with higher max speed than the large humpback cabin, or a more compact build because the Apollo generator is very, very large, while the gas generator is rather compact. Anyway, that said, I want to go back up and let's go for the little boy 6-pounder. It has a single shot damage of 613, which is higher than both the Judge and the Avenger, which is pretty interesting. 3.5 seconds reload also means it's very much higher DPS because it's the same reload as the Avenger. DPS is around 103, but that costs of course the higher energy, higher power score. It has a knockback of 1200. Sorry, no, 5000. Sorry, looking at the wrong chart right here. Has 12 shots of ammo, 15,000 recoil, 500 meters optimum range, 800 meter maximum range, a power score set of 1110, structure 413, mass 837. I do want to point out that thermal cannons, while stationary, have higher accuracy than stationary turret cannons. However, when on the move, when not moving the turret, the turret cannons are much more accurate than the normal cannons. If they're both moving the turret, doesn't matter if you are moving yourself or not, they're both very inaccurate. So that's that. You can fire on the move with little boys at range as long as you don't move the turret. So just pre-turn it and then let drive so bitter you get someone in the crosshairs and then shoot. Next up is our big buddy right here, the Fat Man. The Fat Man deals 717 damage per shot, has a reload time of 4 seconds, 12,000 knockback, 10 rounds of ammo, 17,500 recoil, optimal range of 500, maximum range of 800. Also, these numbers mean that at 300 meters, at 500 meters, after that you start to lose damage. At 800 meters, you have no damage at all. At 500 meter range, that's pretty much an entire map, so these ones don't really have any damage loss. Its power score is 1410, structure 692, energy drain 6, and a mass of 1215 kilograms. Its special ability is a direct hit, speeds up the following shots reloading by 0.5 seconds, which which also benefits the DPS. Because of that, you can actually get the same effective reload as a little boy, which is actually quite an advantage. Its DPS of these guns are 103.49 and 105.92, and the Fatman, of course, not considering the possible increase in DPS because of the increased reload speed. Next up is the Mammoth. Mammoth are legendary gun, the only legendary cannon that's currently available. So the Tsunami is hopefully gonna be obtainable later on in the later update in the Steppenwolf section, but I doubt it will be there anytime soon. So the Mammoth currently is gonna be the only really obtainable cannon in the game. It has 966 damage per shot, which is over 200 more than the Fatman. 1300 knockback, 30,000 recoil, which is half of the Tsunami, but still very high. Has 10 rounds of ammo, a optimal range of 500, maximum range of 800, a power score of 1950, structure of 1167, energy drain of 6, and mass of 2,632 kilograms. Every time you hit with this thing, you'll do a 20% increasement of damage, stacks up 3 times or until you miss. So this thing also has, similar to the Tsunami, has a potential of 60% extra DPS. That said, the Mammoth has a lower DPS than the Fatman because of the 6 seconds reload, which currently sits at 95.14 DPS, but it can potentially get up to 60% higher. Anyway, I hope you guys find these stats very interesting. Please comment down below which weapons you want me to do next about this thing. I got rocket launchers, guided missile launchers, grenade launchers, the 3 spares, as well as drones, and relics still left. Also, actually, I also got the melee weapons, of course. And that said, I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys all later. Bye bye.